Здравствуй, товарищ, and welcome to Wargame European Escalation. I'm Hob Gatling, and today we'll be playing through the mission Civil War. I took the liberty of unlocking the whole Hind series of units and an excellent flying recon unit Mi-9 helicopter.
The 47th Guard Tank Regiment in Neubrandenburg has remained deaf to my call. They intend to crush my rebellion. The commander's loyalty to the party is born of too many years of fearful obedience. Let's free his men from their blind submission to leaders who are anything but worthy. Once their boss is gone, we'll give his soldiers the opportunity to change history that he never seized. It seems like a staff officer from the 47th Tank Guards is ready to join us. He gave us some pretty interesting intelligence, including the position of their regimental headquarters. One targeted strike could end this fratricidal fight quickly. As for our informant, he won't stay with the rest of the staff, and will make contact with us as soon as he's ready to defect.
And here we are. The mission itself is pretty straightforward. Locate and destroy the Guards Tank Regiment headquarters. For that purpose, I'm going to call out a quite large number of helicopter gunships. We'll have the excellent Mi-28 Havocs and a large number of Mi-24As. The 24As will be used as a buffer of sorts. I'm going to disable their ATGMs to prevent them from eating up all of our supplies and use them mainly for their rocket strikes. That also forces them to close in with the enemy positions a little, so hopefully the enemy anti-air assets will target the cheap old helicopters rather than the top of the line ones I have. I'm also calling in two of the best choppers in the Hind series, the Mi-24 VPs. They have an excellent ATGM that will see a lot of use in this mission. That's the basic idea of handling threats, rockets and powerful ATGMs. Looks like there's no good straight route to Leonid, so I'll rather try and go around the enemy positions. Might as well, because terrain is no obstacle for my helicopters. I'll just circle behind them and take them all out. The main problem with this type of approach is that while it's rather safe for me, as long as the enemy can't get a line of sight on my helicopters, the first they'll see of my choppers is when they start shooting, and by then it's too late. The main problem is that the choppers use up huge amounts of ammo, so we gotta keep our eyes open for enemy FOBs, take over as many of them as possible, and resupply often. The enemy had sneakily hidden an infantry ATGM team in the hedges over there. The best defense for helicopters against an ATGM threat is to take off immediately. Forget everything else, take off immediately.
Отправляемся в указанный квадрат. Куда нам отправляться, сэр? Нужно проверить хвостовой вид. Отправляемся в указанный квадрат.
And back to the resupply shuffle. Getting all the helicopters to land can be a bit of a pain. Note the 57mm rockets. A pair of Mi-24A gunships has 128 such rockets, making them excellent for suppressing any enemy anti-air assets. The best defense against such an attack is spreading your AA around, keeping them in single units with some distance between. You don't want the rockets to hit any more than one target at a time. The Soviet helicopters are of course excellent for this type of warfare. They are very durable. Everything I'm flying here should be able to take at least one surface-to-air missile. Well, except the scouts, but I intend to keep the scouts a bit behind. I have two just in case that a lucky missile drops one of them, but in a perfect world I shouldn't lose either one of them. The BMP-2s are the biggest threat for us, but I'll still rather take out the T-80s first, just in case they get any ideas about advancing on our starting location. You can fire ATGMs at landed choppers, so if a sneaky shot comes at you, best get airborne quickly.
Держитесь крепче, взлетаем. Это наше небо. Капитан экипаж приветствует вас на борту. Держитесь крепче, взлетаем. Куда нам отправляться, сэр? Куда нам отправляться, сэр? Выдвигаемся к цели. Это наше небо.
A couple of Tunguska anti-air and some launchers. We should be able to simply overwhelm them with enough rockets and guided missiles. Once the enemy AA is down, a helicopter ball of death like this one is a powerful hunter. That's one of the reasons many newbies try a helicopter rush in multiplayer. If your opponent doesn't know how to counter one or doesn't get any anti-air units, he's going to lose pretty badly. Of course, it's rather easy to stop if you know how, so generally speaking, rushing in with helicopters doesn't work. That doesn't mean early game doesn't have any use for helicopters, you just have to be smart about it.
Надеюсь, там не будет вражеских зениток.
The main weakness of my helicopters is already becoming apparent. I'm starting to run out of ammunition. Again, the first to go down is enemy anti-air gun. The two flamethrower vehicles are no threat, they don't have anything they can shoot me with, so I'll rather take out the enemy command vehicle first.
Капитан и экипаж приветствуют вас на борту. Нужно проверить хвостовой винт.
The Mi-2 Scout is already running out of gas, so I need to refuel as quickly as possible. Yet more BM-27 Uragans. Now, here I probably made a mistake. I should have paid more attention to the minimap and what's going on around me.
Нужно проверить хвостовой
Now
винт.
that the Mi-2 has some fuel, I should have immediately taken off and run away. I can take one or two missiles from a single MTLB Strela carrier comfortably and make another attack when I have more ammunition and fuel available. Rushing in like this is bound to get me some casualties. And that's the first two helicopters down for no gain. 3 helicopters down. Fortunately, all of them are Mi-24As, so the loss is not huge, but it's unnecessary and shouldn't have happened.
Надеюсь, там не будет вражеских зениток. Вам нужен ангел-хранитель? Это наше небо.
Still, we got all the enemy rocket launchers, so we should be pretty safe taking range from the enemy units and trying to locate another FOB.
Надеюсь, там не будет вражеских.
Looks like this back area is well supplied. That's good.
Выдвигаемся к цели.
And as a surprise gift, looks like we get 6 T-80As.
Ведите меня, идите за мной или
They'll have to do guard duty while the helicopters rearm.
Проверка завершена, к вылету готовы.
again with the helicopter shuffle.
Нужно проверить хвостовой.
You shouldn't try to rearm your helicopters in a hurry when enemy is closing in. It almost never works. One trick that I won't be able to show off here, but which works nicely, is placing a couple of supply vehicles around the FOB circle so that the supply vehicle drains constantly more supplies from the FOB. That makes the supply radius slightly larger and gives the helicopters a slightly bigger area to get down to. The FOB is already empty. 10,000 supplies drained in an instant. Looks like the enemy forces got brave and tried to follow us. Too bad for them.
Нужно проверить хвостовой вид.
We should have enough Atakas and other weaponry to take out the enemy armored vehicles. The BMP-2s are the worst threat for my helicopters, but I'll still start with the T-72Bs. If everything fails, I can just sick my tanks forward at whatever the enemy tries to toss at us, but I'd rather not do that against tanks. BMPs, however, are lightly armored, so they don't really stand a chance here.
Капитан и экипаж приветствуют вас на борту. Вылетаем. Надеюсь, там не будет вражеских зениток. Вылетаем. Отправляемся в указанный квадрат. Куда нам отправляться, сэр?
The situation is looking pretty good otherwise, except for the Havocs, which need more ATGMs. I'm going to land and rearm as soon as I can take care of the BMPs approaching us. Trying to work with the hillsides can be a bit of a problem with helicopters, since they need to maintain a certain minimum distance from the enemy units. That's 4th Mi-24A down. Half my buffer is now gone.
Надеюсь, там не будет вражеских зениток.
Still, the enemy artillery has been taken out, and they've suffered quite a lot of losses in the back areas. I'm hoping that whatever forces the enemy has committed to the front line won't attack my helicopter horde when I try to make contact with the traitor.
Вам нужен ангел-хранитель? Куда нам отправляться, сэр? Нужно проверить хвостовой вид.
Some artillery would make for a great synergy here. I could bypass secondary targets and have the guns shoot at them while the helicopters completed the more important mission ahead.
В указанный
Still, for the most part, we haven't had enough points for a worthwhile amount of artillery, and in any case, by now most of the enemy forces in the rear areas are dead.
Вижу цель. Навожусь.
A couple more supply trucks join us.
Вылетаем.
The enemy paras are down, so now we should have a pretty open road. The Mi-9 helicopter has an excellent scouting range. You can see the MSTA S artillery pieces from almost
Вам нужен ангел-хранитель?
almost 4 kilometers. With a sight range like that, it's easy enough to spot any non-hidden units.
Куда нам отправляться, сэр? Захожу на цель.
And now we just need to kill everyone in Leonid.
Вылетаем.
Just to be safe, I'm going to put a couple of missiles in the artillery pieces.
Проверить хвостовой вид.
And that's it. The helicopters will have to join our fleet, and tanks get to drive slowly away as we are going to complete our mission, the destruction of enemy units at Elena. Looks like there are still some enemy units south of Elena. I'm just going to steer clear of those. All FOBs are empty, but we still should have enough ammunition to take out a couple of T-80s that can shoot back.
Ураган пламени. Капитан и экипаж приветствуют вас на борту. Проверка завершена. Готовы.
Tanks are hugely resistant to rockets, but missiles will wipe them out in a single hit.
Вижу цель. Навожусь. Держитесь крепче. Взлетаем.
There's still something hidden in Elena. We should have enough firepower to clear it out if there's infantry, and in any case I can make a quick sweep over the city to see what's in there. Nothing but supply trucks. I won't bother capturing those.
It's time for us to turn to the west. We have enough resources for the mission I have for us.
And that's it. All objectives completed, and the kill lists for Havocs are huge. The Mi-24 VPs didn't do badly either. Three helicopters lost apparently, and some more units gained. This is Gatling signing out. Peace.